broadcast is brought to you by Mitre Size 5 Footballs, and I'm going to break a habit, but for the moment, this is my broadcast and I make the rules. Normally, as I've said, I'm not going to give you minute by minute, blow by blow, but I'm also going to assume that it's possible you didn't manage to see the Super Cup being brought to its finale last night. Madrid facing Barcelona, difficult to watch. I'm assuming the majority of you are in the UK and Ireland. Not all of you, I know. But if you are, it was hard to watch this. So if I do one thing in this broadcast to you this morning, is to try and convince you what an outrageous, orgasmic spectacle of football we watched. I think too often football becomes about issues, arguments, sometimes even the way in which the game has been opened up tactically and strategically and better examined than it ever was when I was young. Interesting, but occasionally dry. I'm not from that school that says, in the old-fashioned journalistic lingo that I used to hear, it's all about mud on boots and players tackling one another. Football is joy. Football is orgasmic. Sport should pummel the senses. You should be engaged, sucked in, feel like you're in some kind of tumble dryer, being tossed around and gusted with blasts of hot air. And then when it's finished, you should come away wanting, needing to speak to the person nearest you in a stadium, in a bar, sneaking a view of it in your office when you should be working, the person nearest to you in the house. It doesn't matter. That's what sport should do to you all the time. You should be going around, what the fuck did I just see? And that's what happened when Barcelona beat Real Madrid 5-2. It was full of almost everything. For the purist, you'd have wanted a tighter, better display by the Spanish and European champions. They did their bit, they played their part, but insufficiently. What have we got to say about this? I want to start with admitting, without any shame, I thought Madrid were going to win this. I thought Madrid were going to win the last Clásico too. The aggregate result, 9-2 to Barcelona over the last two Clásicos. But how does that fit into context? A year ago, almost exactly, Madrid were smashing 10-man Barcelona 4-1 in the Super Cup Clásico final. The two Clásicos last season, ebb and flow, punch and counter-punch, but each won by Real Madrid, each with late rallies, 2-1 in the Ciudad Condal, 3-2 in Madrid. So whatever you say about this Clásico, whatever your taste is, you may try and argue to me, and I'm not having it. Oh, Milan Inter is better, Boca River is better, Manchester United Liverpool. Forget it. Spanish football reigns supreme because, for my taste, you get the biggest, most explosive package of ideas and technique and skill, plus all the other elements, the B12 of vengeance and revenge and history and socio-political arguments thrown in. But Spanish football still gives you excitement, excellence, brilliance, technique, impishness, daring, two fingers up to everybody. I love that, and that's what this game represented. But still, rather than me trying to say to you, this is what I saw, this is what I hear, you tell me, how did 10-man Barcelona, starting with a keeper who was retired from professional football as late as the end of the summer, with two 17-year-olds in their team, with an aged, slowing striker up front, how did they beat the Spanish and European champions, who defended really openly, who gave away space? But they did that against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final, and they won. They did that over two legs against Manchester City in the Champions League, and they won. They defended a little bit like that against Barcelona in the two Clásicos last season that Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti won. Yet on this occasion, just like in the Bernabeu, Hansi Flick and his team seemed to have, even if it's a simple strategy and a simple plan, they knew how to do damage. In my claim that this was a game with the most extraordinary package of entertainment, I draw your attention to the fact that both teams scored almost directly in transition from the opposition attacking corner. Madrid did it first. The breakaway was sensational. Vinicius to Mbappe, 1-0. Barcelona managed it too, just before the half-time. The breakaway goal, building up the pitch, really good ball into Alex Balde, the fullback, the left fullback who defended really badly for the first goal, is on his own and scores to make it 4-1 just before the break. But the standout moments for me would include the ball from Jules Koundé to the back post where Rafinha is running and leaping, having missed 2, maybe 3 big chances already, and heading like a 1955 centre forward. The posed power, it's a gorgeous goal. Rodrigo's free kick goal is utterly sensational. Yes, the wall's a little bit badly placed. Yes, Iñaki Peña is only just on because Wojciech Szczesny has been sent off. But the power, the direction of the free kick, any footballer, any great free kick taker of recent years would be eminently proud of that goal. But the standout, and this will be submerged a little bit, submerged in the fact that it's a 5-2 Clásico, submerged in the fact that there'll be finger pointing in Madrid, submerged in the fact that Barca won with 10 men, the referee's performance, as ever in Spain, will be dissected and spat upon and defended. There'll be a lot of chat about the fact that Dani Olmo, who was unregistered as a Barca player from the 1st of January, and then Barca win a court case and Dani Olmo comes back and plays auxiliary left back for most of the minutes that he was on the pitch. All of that will be talked about, and you know what it will submerge? Lamine Yamal. Maybe there were more complete performances on the night. Maybe so. Yeah, he was taken off because he's coming back from injury. He needs to be protected. The amount of games being placed on those 17-year-old shoulders is absolutely gigantic. I've already talked here about the fact that last year he had 39 goal contributions, winner of the European Championship, the youngest scorer in a European Championship. Now he's the youngest player ever to win the Spanish Super Cup, but the goal. His goal when it's 1-0 Real Madrid. His goal when Barcelona still look a little bit groggy, and although they've created goal chances, Madrid look as if the counter-attack is going to fry Barcelona. The ball into Lamine, a little flick on by Lewandowski, playing in the number 10 role where he looks much more competent, much more useful than he does at 9, in my opinion, particularly in big games against good teams. The flick on's very, very good. But Lamine has so much work to do to shake off Mondi behind him, to show difficult patterns to Tchouaméni about where he's going to go. Comes across once, comes across again, but the finish off his left foot back across Courtois into the left-hand corner of Courtois' net. A gigantic, long, tall Sally keeper who can get there, who must have made the goal mouth look tiny, and Lamine nets it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. A Barcelona team which has won 1 of their last 7 La Liga matches. A Barcelona team which lost at home to, savour these L's, Las Palmas and Leganés. That Barcelona, even with a man sent off halfway through the second half, have won the Super Cup. Lamine and Rafinha will get lots of shit. I loved seeing it, but they both put on their shades to celebrate on the pitch afterwards. Knowing the Spanish media, they're going to get grief for that. I'm going to say, go on lads, love that. As I would have said if it was Modric and Bellingham doing the same. No club, no partisan issue. I'm just a shades man, as you already know. What a game. Any team that plays like that, any 2 teams that give us that entertainment, for my taste, need to be applauded. If you couldn't see it, if you didn't see it, I'm sorry for you, and I hope in some small way this has been recompense for you. Fuck me, football is fantastic. Vamos.